Well, I got a little tripod of sorts, so we're gonna see how this works. I am going to be weighing Peaches as Kittens, so this is my trusty log of all of their weights, twice a day, 4 weeks straight. I took them to the vet recently because of the eye infections, unfortunately, and the vet was like, oh, well, you know, bring them up here so we can get them weighed. And I was just like, well, I got all their weights. And he was just like, what? He was just really impressed that I had put in this amount of effort. So it felt pretty validating because he was like, hey, whatever the secretary's name was, look at this guy. He's got everything all figured out and logged and ready. Like, I don't have to do anything. So, you know, I appreciate that my effort makes a difference. With the weights, the main thing is I can see who's gaining and who's losing, and if there is a trend up or down, or if they're staying stagnant. Careful, buddy. A couple of them have been trending down, unfortunately, because of the infections and the cold and stuff, respiratory, like they have trouble breathing and then they can't nurse at the same time, and you know, it doesn't really work out. So I'll be very interested to see their progress today. The bigger ones, unfortunately, as you see, they're very rambunctious. So the smaller ones, you set them on the scale and they're just like potatoes, you know, they just stay there and it's fine. You can get the weight immediately and put them back right away. These guys, you have to wait till they stop wiggling, and sometimes they don't want to stop wiggling. So it's like, you sometimes yes, because the range will be going up and down because they're pressing on it. But I'm usually pretty patient to get a pretty accurate reading, you know, within a couple grams. So, you know, if you want to see my nomenclature here, basically I just put one letter instead of their whole name, because let me tell you, after writing all their names out that many times, I was like, forget it, I'm just doing one letter, works great. So yeah, let me get to the weighing, and I'll check back in a second here. You little feisty guy. Whew. I need to find a new method of recording that process because that was way too hard. I think a GoPro or something mounted would be like on my body, not just on a tripod, would be much better. I'll look into that. Here are the weights though, just to kind of update that situation. Most of them gained. The only one that didn't was a missile, and that kind of makes sense because unfortunately this morning both of her little eyes were stuck shut, so she was effectively blind again. Thankfully now they're not, and she's doing much better, so she'll try to catch up on her weight today. I was really glad to see all of these gains, especially Geralt, because he was the other sick one. He had been dropping for 2 days. So now he's actually up past where he was 2 days ago, instead of dropping behind it. And I don't know, just a fun note, Falca is 360 now, and she started out as the absolute tiniest one. I can't remember the exact number was. I guess I could look it up, but it was like 30 grams smaller than the rest of them at birth. So it's nice to see her pull ahead in the lead. All these are reassuring. This one makes sense. I'll just double check tonight if she kind of caught some of that up after being able to see and navigate a little better. But that's kind of the process. It is laborious. I am sweating. It is not even 80 degrees, but it feels like it is in here. So I'll try and improve my process and just continue to share what it is that I do to take care of the cats. And weight twice a day is one of the things that I find really valuable. So I'm going to do some med administration to the other 2 sick cats. I'll also record that really quick. Shouldn't be too long. Come here, girl. They do pretty well with it normally. I figured out to use this little blanket or pillow here because I don't know if you can see it, my legs and hands were getting covered in little claw marks because they were just for testing. But the trick with the medication is you hold them by the scruff of the neck because that's what the mom does, and it sort of paralyzes them. Not like they are negatively can't move, but it's just a reassuring sort of thing. So I can just pop her up here, stick this in her mouth. She kind of instinctively has to swallow it or, you know, choke. But she did pretty well. She spit a little bit out, but that's pretty good for this size. And as you can see, her eyes, they could use a touch-up. Yep, got that little gunk out of your eyes. You know, this stings. I don't like it, but I also think they know that it helps them. So they don't fight it too much. That, you know, if I just hold it on there too long, they get irritated. But if it gets all crusty and stuck, I have to kind of let it soak and help it get unstuck. But, you know, she's not even mewing. She's just kind of fussy because she's like, ow, this stings, my eye hurts, what are you doing? But we've done this enough times and she can see afterward. So I think she's like, yeah, okay, fine, it's worth it, just do it quickly. It's pretty difficult to do this. Again, I kind of take advantage of the pillow. You have to keep their little bitty eyeball open. Of course they want to close it, and it's just a whole thing. Oh, that one almost did. All right, close enough. Good girl. You know, it's uncomfortable. It's super funny to watch them. I know it's a little bit sad, but they like, you know, immediately if I put them over here, they like try to get it out of their eye and they're like rubbing it and stuff. See, she's like shaking her head. So anyway, now it's Geralt's turn. So yeah, again, as you can see, his little eyeball is quite stuck with some crusties. So I'm gonna give him his amoxicillin first. Again, the little neck scruff, and you just kind of stick it in the side. They protest, but it's like kind of forces them to have to accept it in a more natural way. Good guy, you got this. Yeah, that was much better than usual. His eye has been very swollen, so I do feel pretty bad for him. When the vet looked at it, it was so swollen that even when he opened the eye, you couldn't see his eye. It was just all puffy and red, and thankfully I had seen his, you know, anatomy and could confirm that he had a normal eyeball. It was just very swollen. So that's where it's just a matter of being diligent and keeping on top of it. The vet said to do this 3 times a day, which is more than most people have time for. But if I'm kind of making this my job right now, well, I got time for it. And I really like this guy. You know, I'm gonna have to eventually give all these away, or at least most of them. In about 4 weeks, these will be ready for adoption. So there's time to find homes and all that. Eating his drops. Oh, good, we got the eye open. So again, the little crusties got broken up, and then get the little gunk out. It's not a fun process, but you notice he's not crying. He's not squeaking. He's just like, this sucks. I don't like having things in my eye, but okay, you're helping. So let's do this. And this is the worst part. I know, buddy. You got this. Perfect. Right in there. All right. Good job. I am excited to see him with both eyes open consistently in the near future. I like this guy a lot. He's the little chunker. There's a story about his father that I could probably tell at some point, but he was a very big cat. I think he was a cross of a lynx and a bobcat and a house cat, because it was, I mean, it's probably not, but it felt like it was like a 25, 30-pound cat. So he's probably gonna have some pretty beefy genetics, and it's super funny because he also has the smallest little meow. If you ever do hear him meow, the rest of them kind of have normal like kitten meows. Like, meow, meow. He's just like, meow. I'm like, bro, are you gonna eventually get a deeper voice, or is this kind of it? Anyway, I love this guy. Thanks for being a part of this little weigh-in and med administration. Let me know what you think. I'm exhausted from this already, so I gotta go take a break, but you know, it's worth it, and I love it, even though I'm covered in little scratch marks and all this stuff. You know, seeing them get better is exciting. So I'm going to sign off for now. This is Pete with Pete's Cats. I'll see you soon.